Welcome. Well, you're at home with Jim and Joy, and you are an important part of our EWTN family, and we're delighted that you have welcomed us into your home. Well, we would like to hear from you, so send us an email with your question or your comment to jimandjoy@EWTN.com. Well, today we have a lovely couple, Rob and Andrea Ziminsky, Journeys of Faith. Rob is the relative of Bob and Penny Lord. We had him on one time in a closing of one of our shows, and we're delighted to have them both back again. You could go to the website, Journeys of Faith, bobandpennylord.com, journeysoffaith.com.
Well, we had a beautiful first show on Wednesday with 3 members of the team, Journeys of Faith. Did a great job, and now we have the grandson and his precious wife on, Andrea, with us, and just a real sense of the blessing that was on Bob and Penny's lives. Mm-hmm. No question about that, beloved by our viewers, a real community, the Journeys of Faith, and wonderful team that's been there, and Rob and Andrea really coming on board. I just have a sense of going from strength to strength. There's not much in a sense that needs to be changed, because it's all about saints and the Eucharist and Our Lady and retreat and catechesis. But there's new wine. Mm-hmm. New wine. You know, the old and the new is in Journeys of Faith. And God's about ready to birth something on top of what's already been done with Journeys of Faith. I think this is going to be a beautiful show. Rob and Andrea, just absolutely delightful couple, and so connected with Bob and Penny Lord, and I really do believe that the best is yet to come.
Yeah, we're excited about that.
So stay with us. You're not going to want to miss this show. There's a lot of you that have been so committed to the Lord's over the years, and we just want to assure you that it's going from strength to strength, and the best is yet to come with Journeys of Faith. Don't go away. Plenty more to come. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Well, on Wednesday, we had the adopted children of Bob and Penny Lord on our show to discuss how Bob and Penny's journey of faith is continuing. Well, today we have Bob and Penny's grandson and his lovely wife, Andrea, to talk a little bit more about this beloved ministry. And we're delighted to have you all back here, Rob and Andrea. We're so excited, and we're excited to hear the good things that God is going to continue and birth new things as you bring who you are to this beautiful ministry. So why don't you tell our family, well, first of all, maybe they didn't see you on the last time. Tell them who you are, Mr. Rob.
I'm Rob Ziminsky. I'm Bob and Penny Lord's grandson, and I'm just very happy to be back with you guys. I had such a wonderful time.
What a blessing.
The last time was such a blessing. So
what's been happening since last you all were here with the ministry? What do you see going on with it, and what do you think the Lord's doing?
You know, we've been doing a lot of soul searching, a lot of talking, trying to look at how can we bring the ministry to move forward. And many different ideas, many exciting things. First of all, I think people who have watched the programs are excited, will be excited to hear that we are going to be making additional programs. As a matter of fact, one of the first we're going to be working on is almost a continuation of the books of the Miracles of the Eucharist. So Bob and Penny wrote 2 books, Miracles of the Eucharist 1 and 2, and they did 2 videos on that. We're going to do a 3rd video. And what that video is actually going to be is of the greatest miracle, which is of the Mass. And it's going to be I guess kind of like a slow motion Mass. But the idea is that so many of us, we get so excited about these miracles of the Eucharist, and it's a wonderful way to be able to strengthen our faith. But we have to remember every day in every one of our churches that miracle is happening
every day. Several times a day.
Right.
And so we want to be able to show that and to have people get a better understanding of what's going on during the Mass, so that, you know, in together with this trilogy kind of can just help to grow their faith.
So you're saying it'll be kind of like an instructed Mass, the various parts of the Mass?
The very parts of the Mass. So the different background. So why does the priest wear a chasuble? Where did it come from? You know, why does he use a pall? All of the history. There's so much history just in a Mass that many of us don't know, that we want to bring to the viewers of EWTN.
We're just looking to help people connect.
Absolutely.
You know, our world is in a lot of turmoil, and people are searching for something, and it's right there in front of us. And that's what we want to share with everyone. We want to bring everyone to Christ.
You know, this vision that you have to make this video about the Eucharist, maybe like an instructed Eucharist. When I was serving as a minister in another expression of the church, it was Eucharistic. We had communion, maybe called the Mass, but I understand the differences. But this group that I was involved with, this denomination, was kind of representing a Catholic tradition as well as evangelical and charismatic. So we would present to people that may not have been familiar with the liturgical, the Catholic element. Now, it may not have truly been Catholic, but the Catholic elements, liturgy. And we were so excited because we were presenting the Catholic things to people who have not heard before, and they were coming in to this denomination, to this expression.
They're searching for something.
But we're filled with people in the Catholic faith that are the same way, that don't know.
That's right.
Why do you wear a chasuble? Are you just showing off, or is it to cover the person? Is to say something about that. And so we would explain why the vestments. We're not here to accentuate the man, but to cover the man. And then the various stages of the Eucharistic service. And our people need to hear this. And you can't do that during the Mass itself, you know, although there may be instructed Masses. But I think this is very, very important. It can make the difference between people staying in the church or not. Or young people saying, you know what, I just don't get what this is about. You know, and you're afraid to say that because you might get hit on the head by your grandma or something like that. You know, I'm like, you don't know what
you've been doing this all your life?
And you know, and we just go. I don't know either. I just go because I'm supposed to.
School.
But you know, to know why it's happening, to be instructed in the way, this is important.
Yeah, it's very important. You know, and that was really what Bob and Penny did. You know, they wanted to share our faith, which is so dynamic, so rich, has so much beauty to it. And they wanted to bring that back, and they wanted to be able to give that to individuals so that they could then turn around and share. You know, we got to watch the show that Luz Elena Blanca and Brother Joseph was on. And it was just so beautiful watching Blanca talking about the fact of how excited she is about her faith. And it's because of the reading of these books. And how many people are out there longing for that, searching for that. That's what we really want to have Journeys of Faith continue to be and to become even more. You know, you mentioned family. We loved being on your show the last time, just the way, you know, with your family. And we've always treated Journeys of Faith as a family. Bob and Penny would always start their videos, hello family. And when they said it, you knew it. It was, you thought, okay, great, we're coming over to your house for lasagna, right? You're part of the family. But what is it about family? I have a son who's in college right now, another one who's getting ready to go into college. And it really has come into my heart when they come home. It's so great to have them home because it doesn't mean they need to be there all the time, but they get to rejuvenate, refresh, ground themselves back in that family. And that's what we want Journeys of Faith to be. We want it to be that extended family that you can come to, you can visit, you can get that regeneration that you need, whether it's spiritually, whether it's just some quiet time, whether it's a retreat. Whatever it is, to be able to bring you closer to God. Everybody's on a different journey. You know, we've been talking about Journeys of Faith. Journeys of Faith is not just a pilgrimage. It's all of us in our lives. And what can we do to help you to bring that, to bring everyone closer to God? That's what the ministry is. It's what Bob and Penny wanted, and that's what we're excited to just continue on.
Well, tell our family at home where it is physically located and what's there and what they can come to.
Journeys of Faith is located in Morrilton, Arkansas. There's a a large piece of property there. We have our offices there, which is where the programs are produced, aside from when we've traveled and shot footage outside. Brother Joseph is the one that takes care of most of the editing and putting the programs together. We also have a retreat center there, which is one of the things that I'm looking forward to really getting involved in. Like Rob was saying, we really want to make it a place where people come to recharge, to ground themselves. And we have this beautiful retreat center that we've had some retreats, but I really am looking to build it. I'd like to try and get more youth groups in, because I think our youth, it's one of the areas that we need to really grow our church, because we're losing a lot of our youth. So we're looking forward to things like that. We have Stations of the Cross outside, so you can certainly walk around and enjoy just the beauty and the quietness there. When you're looking for that recharging, it's a good place to find it.
You mentioned, maybe targeting is not the right word, but maybe we should use that word, of young people. Because they're the future of the church, and we should just be ministering to them and so many not showing interest in the church. But I think Journeys of Faith is set up in a unique way to reach them. In other words, if they're not even in the church, or maybe putting down grandma or grandpa because of what they believe, you can always send them a video of a radical saint. Because these kids, a lot of them are looking for radical things, and they're looking for this in all the wrong places. But they might see, watch something like, here's a Eucharistic miracle. That this bread and wine, which we believe is the body, blood, soul, and divinity of Jesus. Guess what? We have some flesh here that it's what? What is this about? How can this be? Or radical saints, who died for the faith. So maybe they're not coming to church. It breaks our heart. But you can reach out to them with something. Or maybe you can say, we're not even going to invite you to come to church. Just go to this site, this retreat. It's this beautiful place, and just come here and get to hear this dynamic speaker that's going to be there, and get them out of their environment, get them away from the screen for a little while. I guess you have times where they can't be in a screen at a retreat. Maybe later on you can, and get them out so they can get their heads cleared a little bit. And I think that would be tremendous. So you could reach kids that aren't even in the church. And really impact them, the future of their lives.
Oh, absolutely.
That's our hope.
Absolutely. And and we are looking for those kind of dynamic individuals that want to do that too. Bob and Penny left a treasure trove of information on these saints. But that's just part of it. We're looking for pilgrim priests. We're looking for people that want to come and give retreats. What does that mean,
pilgrim priest?
So pilgrim priest is somebody who, as we talk about with Journeys of Faith, there are lots of organizations that will coordinate a pilgrimage. The great thing about with Bob and Penny, what they were able to do is they were able to go to many places that are off the beaten path and truly be able to get to know these people at these shrines. So that's one of the great things that they do. But the other part of it was people would go on pilgrimages with Bob and Penny. Bob and Penny would, they were that draw. They loved them, and it was just beautiful. It's a beautiful experience to do that. So now what we're looking for are those other priests that want to help people with that pilgrimage in life. Because when you have someone who is such a dynamic preacher and is trying to share, and you take that individual and now you put them, say, at the tomb of St. Francis, you put them in Rome at the cradle of our faith, it is life. It is truly life-changing. I was blessed to go on pilgrimages with them throughout my teenage years. I was probably on about, at least 10, 12 pilgrimages with them. I saw people's lives change on there, and that's what we're looking for, are those priests that want to partner with us. We'll put it together.
So you're giving an invitation today.
Oh,
absolutely.
big invitation, a big invitation. We want to invite people to come down. We want them to come and visit. We want to be able to recharge. You don't have to stay for a long time. You're interested in just having some quiet time, come and do that.
Just for a weekend.
Just to be with us. We're looking for that place. And as you talked about with youth, it is so important for us to be able to reach out to them, give them something else to hang on to, give them something else. And yeah, you talk about dynamic saints. When you started talking about that, I started thinking of, I'm a big follower of St. Francis. you talk about the life of St. Francis. Well, everybody kind of thinks of, oh, St. Francis, and he was a monk, and he had the birds and all this other stuff. St. Francis was a soldier. He was a party animal. I mean, this was, and he was able to take that dynamic personality he had, and he was able to channel that to God. So, that Bob and Penny brought all of those things, and we want you to read about those because these are the role models of our lives. Yeah. These should be the role models of our lives, and we need to keep getting that message out to these young people to give them some hope.
Right. Because everyone's looking for a hero, right?
Amen.
Who's my hero is going to be in Hollywood, because sometimes their heroes should be their parents or their grandparents, and they're absent from their lives. So they're looking to replace that. Well, here the super saints, they're our heroes, because they're the ones that help us on our journey of faith, just to say, he was just an ordinary man, she was just an ordinary poor little girl, and look what God did in her life. And that's where your identification is. It's like, I could do that, and we all need to be saints. We're all on the journey to be more like Jesus and less of ourselves. So the great extension and the invitation to say to the young to come. And it might not be in a church situation. Say, look, I need to get away for the weekend. I don't need to go into rehab. I just need to go to a place where I can recollect and just find myself again and reset.
It's funny. Joy and I, when we were raising our 4 kids, periodically we made time to get away a little bit. And we thought, we're going to do all this stuff. It's going to be such wonderful. All we did was kind of sleep and rest. And I said to Joy, it's really good that we went away, because I just found out we're not possessed by a demon. We're not mentally ill. We're really tired.
We're just straight out tired.
So you're saying if a person wanted to come, a couple could come and get it. It doesn't have to be a whole group.
No, not at all. No. Okay. Not at all. Give us a call.
Call Blanca. She wants to hear from you.
That's right. She's the contact person.
Yeah, we do have room for up to 24. I keep missing that number. We do have a retreat center that will house up to 24. So, or if you had a larger group and wanted to come down, there are accommodations in the area. We do have a large meeting space. We have a chapel. We have a freestanding chapel where you can have Mass. Like, as Andrea said, we have the Stations of the Cross. We have just beautiful lands, over 80 acres of land. But yeah, if it's just a couple that says, I just need to get away and just have some quiet time to pray, come on down.
Come do a silent retreat, your own,
Or if there's a small women's group that needs to get together and come, or a men's group. Those places that are set apart, they become what they call thin spaces. They're places where we journey towards heaven. It's those moments where we get captured by God. And heaven comes down, and hopefully we go up. And it's that thin space where we encounter God, and God encounters us. Like you said, that happens on pilgrimages too. But sometimes it happens right here in the United States. You don't have to go abroad. You don't have to go far. But you can go to a place and just say, God, arrest me.
But if you want to go far away, they'll take you there too.
I know, I love
that.
that too.
Absolutely.
Speaking with Rob and Andrea Ziminsky, Journeys of Faith, bobandpennylord.com, journeyoffaith.com. Don't go away. We're going to hold them over for the final segment. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Well, we're talking with Rob and Andrea Ziminsky about Bob and Penny Lord's Journeys of Faith. Before we continue, we want to go to Rome to check in with Joan. Now, Joan, what can you tell us about the couple of big events that we know that are coming up in the near future? Joan?
Well, greetings again from Rome to everyone at home. And because At Home is all about home, that is to say family, marriage, children, pro-life issues, it's always very useful to find out what the Vatican has to say, what it publishes about these topics. For example, we do know there's 2 big events in the offing. This August, there's the World Meeting of Families in Dublin, Ireland. And then in January 2019, there will be the International World Youth Day in Panama. Now, how to get a lot more information if you constantly want to be informed, my suggestion is get their newsletter. if you write to newsletter@laityfamilylife.va, you will be subscribing to it and get an amazing amount of news if these topics interest you. And the website is the same. It's laityfamilylife.va. Now, the information, for example, that's coming out on Dublin, what's coming out, the videos and prayers and many other things, these packages are put together to help families and to help parishes as they prepare to go to World Youth Day in Dublin. And of course, the Pope is expected to attend that. Now, as for the next International World Youth Day in Panama 2019, this is what the site had to say. It said, according to many, World Youth Day is Pope John Paul's most beautiful invention. But he, on the other hand, said the young people are the ones who invented World Youth Day. Now, what's interesting is just last month, February 11th, Sunday, at the Angelus, Pope Francis was at his study window flanked on two sides by two young people, and he had in his hand a tablet. At a certain point, he touched the screen on the tablet and became the first person to enroll for World Youth Day. So again, for a lot more information on these topics, go to familylaitylife.va. Time's up here. Back to you.
Thanks so much for another wonderful report, Joan. It's really interesting that Joan's speaking about all sorts of opportunities, conferences, retreats for people, especially young people, to get away, to go to another place and to be impacted by the Lord. We have a couple of minutes left. Any closing thoughts on Journey of Faith and impacting people for the Lord?
You know, just I guess what we really want to say is we're a wealth of resources, you know, in books and programs. Even in location, if you need to get away, we're right there ready to help anybody with whatever they need in their faith.
You are.
Yeah.
You are ready.
And especially reaching out even to those homeschoolers. My beautiful bride here was a Catholic school teacher for many years, and it's very important to be able to be teaching. And so if you are a parent and you're there and you're teaching and you're looking for any kind of resources on our saints, on our faith, on Mary, on the Eucharist, please reach out to us. We have a wealth of information that we can give to you to teach your children about your faith. It's very important.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be a great place for homeschool moms to come and just say,
absolutely.
okay, we need a little retreat before this school year, you know, comes upon us, and just ways that they can regroup, and that would be excellent.
It would be.
Yeah, and the key with your materials is that they're timeless. Right? So it's kind of like, well, why would I read a book again and again? Well, it's the same thing with the Bible. You get different dimensions of it. The same thing with the saints and the Holy Eucharist, and how we just enter into this one and the same reality, but it's just like a new encounter every time.
Yes, exactly.
And that's kind of the equipment that you have. That's the kind of catechesis you have in terms of the videos, in terms of the books. But not only that, then you can come to the retreat center and taste and see that the Lord is good. I mean, I think Bob and Penny really brought home the reality of Christ and the training of the mind and the soul and community, and that's which is eternal. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And just to kind of, you know, sum it up, we are family. You are our family. EWTN, you know, all of us, we are family. We want to be your family. And to echo...
We're a family in Christ.
Absolutely. And what Bob and Penny would echo when they would always say, we love you, they meant it from the heart. And that's what we're here is to tell you. We do love you. We want to help you with your journey of faith, whatever that may be, and whatever small way we can impact that. We're here. Come check us out.
Yeah,
Amen.
beautiful.
Well, Rob and Andrea, thank you so much for being with us today. I really do believe that the best is yet to come.
Thank you.
God bless you both in this great work that you're doing. We shared a lot today about catechesis, about training, about the saints and Eucharist and Our Lady. Where else can you hear all of this except on EWTN? Remember, you're an important part of the family, and you're always at home with Jim and Joy. May this be the greatest Lent and Holy Week of your life. Come, let us go and die with Jesus, that we might be raised from the dead with him. God bless you.